Welcome to The Explainer. If you're a musician, a podcaster, really any kind of audio creator, you know that your tools can make or break a project. So today, we're diving into a piece of software that makes a big promise to be powerful, but also really, really simple. Let's get into it.
We have all been there. I know I have. You've got this perfect beat, this incredible melody, or just a story you have to tell, and it's crystal clear in your mind. But then you sit down at the computer and something gets lost in translation. There's this frustrating gap between your vision and what actually comes out of the speakers. And that gap? That's where so many great ideas just fade away.
And a lot of the time, that gap exists because of this, the creator's dilemma. You've basically got two options. On one side, you have the big league pro software. Yeah, it's powerful, for sure, but the features can be totally overwhelming, the learning curve is incredibly steep, and man, is it expensive. Then on the other side, you've got the basic apps. They're super easy to start with, but you hit a ceiling almost immediately. They're just too limited, with no real room to grow.
But what if you didn't have to make that choice? What if there was a tool that hit that perfect sweet spot right in the middle? Well, let's meet the solution we're talking about today.
This is MixPad, and the entire idea behind it is pretty brilliant, actually. It's designed to take all the heavy-duty power of a professional studio and pack it into a single program that, doesn't require a PhD in sound engineering to figure out. It's built for pretty much everyone, from an absolute beginner to a seasoned pro who just wants a faster workflow. And that right there is the core philosophy. Getting that balance just right. You get all the professional tools you need to make your audio sound incredible, but they're laid out in a way that feels natural, not terrifying. The goal is to get you creating right away, not getting bogged down in some 1,000-page manual.
Okay, so let's get into the good stuff. How does this actually work? How does MixPad give you the power to finally pull that sound out of your head and into your speakers?
So the whole process is designed to be incredibly straightforward. You can either record your audio right into the program or just drag and drop files you already have. Simple. From there, you mix your tracks, you sprinkle in some effects, and then you export or upload your finished work. See? No confusing menus, just a clear, simple path from your idea to the final product. And here's what's in your creative toolkit from the get-go. First off, and this is a huge deal, you can mix an unlimited number of audio, MIDI, and voice tracks. That's massive for complex projects. Of course, it supports all the popular audio formats you'd expect, and it even comes with a built-in sound library and a beat maker, so you literally have stuff to play with and create from the second you open it. Now, MixPad gives you total control over both standard audio files, you can think of these as just raw sound recordings, and MIDI files, which are kind of like digital sheet music. As you can see, you can record, edit, and add effects to both of them. But look at that last row. That's the game changer. VST instrument support for MIDI. This is what unlocks a whole new universe of creativity. Because that VST support, that's your golden ticket to a practically infinite library of sounds and tools that pros all over the world are using every single day. So VST plugins are basically just add-ons. They can be virtual instruments, like a specific grand piano or a wild sci-fi synthesizer, or they could be studio effects, like a vintage reverb or compressor. This is how MixPad grows with you. What it really means is that your sound palette isn't limited by the software anymore. It's only limited by your imagination. If you can dream up a sound, chances are there's a VST for it. And hey, when your project is finally done, you can feel confident that it's going to sound amazing. MixPad exports in really high-quality audio, up to 32-bit floating point, which just means your masterpiece is going to sound exactly how you intended, clear, crisp, and totally professional. Okay, the features sound awesome on paper, but what do the people who actually use it think? Does it really live up to that promise of being both simple and powerful? I absolutely love this quote from a user review. It's such a fascinating bit of feedback, isn't it? It is too simple. Now, at first glance, you might think that's a bad thing, but it's actually the highest praise possible for what this software is trying to accomplish. So that begs the question, right? Is there such a thing as too simple? Does that mean you're missing out on something important? And the answer really comes down to understanding the difference between the word simple and the word lacking. Simple is all about an easy, intuitive workflow. Lacking means key features are just not there. And with things like unlimited tracks and full VST support, it's pretty clear that MixPad is in the simple by design category, not the lacking one. And that's exactly what you hear from other users. They rave about how easy it is to use. They say that while it's simple, it never feels like it's holding them back. For someone who's just starting out, it has everything they need and then some, which makes it the perfect launchpad to build your skills.
So if you're curious and you want to see if this is the right tool for you, the good news is there's basically no barrier to entry.
The software is right there on Steam, which makes it super easy to just download and get going. But there's a really key benefit to getting it through Steam.
And that benefit, it all comes down to the number 2, specifically 2 hours.
See, Steam has this great policy where you can get a full refund on software as long as you've used it for less than 2 hours. So that means you get a full 2-hour window to install MixPad, drag in some audio, mess around with the effects, and really see if it clicks with your workflow, all completely risk-free.
So there you have it. The tools are accessible, they're powerful, and they're intuitive. The only thing missing from the equation is you and your creativity. Your masterpiece is just sitting there, waiting to be made. The only real question left is, what are you going to create first?